The House of Squibb presents Academy Award. Every week, Squibb brings you Hollywood's finest. The great. Of the Year was also nominated for the 1945 Academy Award.
This is the story of a diseased personality. A neurotic girl whose physician fell in love with her and made the mistake of bringing her into the sanctuary of his New England family. Her name was Evelyn Heath. Before Dan brought her to the old house, there was innocence, love, and gaiety there. There was Aunt Martha, who more than worshipped Dan Proctor.
We've looked forward to your coming, my dear, for a long time.
Thank you, Aunt Martha. And you must be Anne. I hope we're going to be very good friends.
I hope more family.
Oh, that's the wonderful part of it. I never really had one. And you can't be Douglas.
Yes, I'm Douglas, black sheep of the family. I'm the painter, that is, commercial artist. I illustrate some of those lurid tales you read in magazines. Oh, this is Miriam Blake, my beautiful model.
Yes, Miss Heath. Please call me Evelyn, Miriam.
Evelyn?
This is Lee, dear. Douglas and Ann's daughter.
Oh, you're beautiful. You're so white.
No, dear, don't touch me. I've been on that dirty train. Anne, could I go upstairs?
Oh, of course. You must be very tired.
The guests had arrived, so young, but so pale and sick. The family as one wanted to help her. But later in her room, there was a certain scene between her and Dan Proctor.
Dan, give me my diary. Give it back to me.
Evelyn, I took it because it shouldn't be around. It should be destroyed.
Give it to me. It's mine and you have no right.
But we came here to forget about all that. You're going to get well, Evelyn.
You see what you're doing to me, Dan? You see?
Oh, don't. Have your diary if you want. Anything you want. Just don't look at me like that. Come on now, darling. Try to get up. They'll be waiting. Get ready.
I won't be able to now. I'm too sick.
Oh, darling, you'll only make yourself worse. Please try and eat something.
All right, Dan. If you like. I'll have something on a tray.
On a... Yes, dear. I'll have it sent up to you right away.